Hello everyone, Niev here, and we are here for the first tarot trimester of the year. So these tarot trimesters are something I started to do last year, and it's basically a spiritual check-in. It's a kind of a Techo Kaigi, a going over my journals, all of that kind of stuff, and it's a check-in every 4 months, so 3 times a year, and that's why I decided to call it my tarot trimester. All right, so we're on the first one. This is April. So I have a list here of the different parts that I want to discuss. So part one is practices I've been doing this year, practices I've set in motion for myself. So the first thing I've been doing is my monthly cards. So, for example, I have my April envelope here. It's already been opened, of course, because we are near the end of April now. But I will pull out the cards that I got for April real quick, just to kind of go over what I've been doing. So, the first thing I've been doing is I am doing a study of the Kamito Yokai Oracle, and this is an oracle deck that I have that's all about Japanese yokai, and I kind of want to do a deep dive on each of the cards, so this will be a practice that I'm going to be doing for a long time. I do believe there are like 54 cards in here, 52, 54, something like that, 52 or 54 cards in here. Actually, I think it's 52, but anyway, so I am doing one card a month, so this is going to take several years for me to complete, and yeah, and I'm jumping ahead a little bit to show that I am doing them in this journal here. So I have a whole section for, the journal stuff, but so here is the page that I did for my current yokai that I've studied, and and I'm doing a video on each of these every single month. So that is my yokai study. And then I am also doing Kalit cards, one card a week. I keep them like this, and the current week card is in front. And this was funny because I pulled this was in the envelope, but I pulled the birthday card, and this is the week of my husband's birthday. So it was actually very, very fitting. But and then the previous weeks were here, and my last week is going to be here for April. So I just kind of keep that in this little stand with the current week like that. All right, let's see. And I'm also doing an ancestor practice, pulling one ancestor card and one archetype card, and doing whatever makes sense that month for the cards that I pull. Sometimes it's a reading. Sometimes it's I did a whole like geomancy thing for one of the ancestors. And if you watched my memorial video for my dad, because my dad just died, and I did a practice, I did something in that video honoring my dad and talking about the coincidence of the cards that I've pulled so far this year. So so every month this year so far, I have pulled like a male line ancestor. Like for January, I think I pulled the Sun card, and then SON, and then for February, I pulled the Father card. And in fact, I recently did. I used some of the B-roll from the reading that I did with that, because I filmed that for B-roll for reels on Instagram and TikTok, but I didn't go into what the cards how I interpreted those cards. It was just B-roll for a different video. In fact, I actually have that video here on my YouTube, because I've been trying to post YouTube shorts as well, but I can only post the ones that are less than 3 minutes, because YouTube shorts can only be up to 3 minutes. But that one is actually in my shorts, so in my shorts sounds so weird. So good, check that out. It's completely unrelated to ancestor work, but the B-roll was my reading with the Father card, and it was kind of funny looking at the B-roll for that, because I noticed the cards that I pulled for the Father card, and boy, was an ancestor trying to tell me what was about to happen. We'll just leave it at that. But Anyway, for the month of March, I pulled the grandfather card, and then for the month of April, I pulled the brother card. So there was definitely a paternal line message going on this year, letting me know what was about to happen with my dad. And by the way, my dad's death was sudden, so this was not something we were expecting. So it's been especially difficult and hard. Yeah, I'm going to try not to talk about that too much because I will start tearing up if I do. But I will also say I got other signs too, that like other, I guess, spiritual signs that this was about to happen. Like the ancestor card thing was a big one. I also, last year we visited my dad, and on our trip there, we made like kind of ceramic vase things, and mine was really, really cool. I painted a galaxy all around it. I may or may not share pictures. Yeah, I don't know how much editing I want to do. We are leaving for my dad's memorial at the end of at the end of April, and so I'm trying to get a lot of videos done before then. And so I don't know how much editing I want to do in this video, but if I manage to do this, I will put some pictures up of the vase that I made, and it was really cool. But not even a week before my dad passed, that vase just fell and shattered, and yeah, so I was getting signs up the wazoo that something was about to happen, and something definitely happened. So yeah, and my ancestor practices this year, I haven't been doing a whole lot with it, just a simple reading or something like that. But this last one, though, was a big reading, and that was the one that I shared on my channel. So go check that out if you want. Yeah. Anyway, I'm going to put this away and stop talking about this. All right, so that was the monthly card practice that I've been doing. As far as YouTube's going, I've also been posting my Enchanted Expectations at the end of every month. Last year I was doing My Magical Month, which was kind of a monthly recap, and I was posting those at the beginning of the months. But I kind of wanted to switch things up this year, and instead I'm doing Enchanted Expectations, so it's my month ahead sort of stuff. And I am doing a little bit of a recap of my month in those videos, and that video and probably this video, the Enchanted Expectation videos and this one are probably going to be very long, an hour plus. So I'm going to try to be more succinct in this video, though. So yeah, so that is, I've been doing that. And let's see what else I've been doing. Of course, my moon readings. I do, in fact, I'll pull out my spiritual journal, even though the next part is going to be going over the journals. But I, of course, do my, every my moon readings. That's what I'm trying to say. So here's some examples here. So I do 4 moon readings a month, and this is a practice I've been doing for a few years now, actually. And I'm pretty consistent with it. I rarely miss a month, and so far I haven't really this month. My third quarter moon in Capricorn video, my latest one, I kind of skipped that one, but I'm kind of counting the reading that I did for my dad for that, because it was just a day or two before this, and it was kind of the same sort of energy here, so that's what I'm counting, but I didn't decorate the page for it. But yeah, so I've been doing my monthly, my 4 moon readings a month for the full moon, the new moon, the first quarter, and the third quarter, and I do connect them to my 4 main Irish deities that I follow. The full moons I do with Bridget or Breege. The third quarter moons I do with Lou. The new moons I do with on Morrigan, and the first quarter moons I do with Dagda on Dagda. So there we go. And I am doing for YouTube. I'm doing a video for my four main Irish deities. I've done the Samhain one, which was last year, for on Morrigan, and basically I'm going over the decks that I used with that deity, and also my altar, and other things like that. Some lore, some history, some beliefs, etc. And I'm super proud of the videos that I've done so far. I've done the On Morrigan one around Samhain, and then I did a Bridget one around Imbolc, and I just recently did the Ondagda one for Bealtaine, and by the time this video goes up, that video should be up. So go check out my deity videos. I've got one more to do this year, and that will be for Lugh, and that will be for Lunasa. So I think, yeah, did I get that right? Yeah. On Morrigan, Breege, on Dagda, Lugh. Yes. Okay. So, so that's what I'm doing there. Yeah. Oh, and I'm this month, all of April, I've been doing a month-long spell, which I'm not going to go into the details of what the spell is for. Just one, for privacy, two, to keep silent, to know, to dare, to will, to keep silent, all that stuff. So I'm not going to go into details of that. However, it has been a month-long spell that I am correlating with planetary timing. And so on the correct day, the correct hour each day, I'm doing this. The spell itself, I do every Wednesday, but I maintain it in the hour of Mercury every single day. Hopefully that makes sense. But so I'm doing that, and I perhaps in due time I may do a video on that. I did film a little bit of it on the first day, but for the most part, I kind of want to keep that private because it is my own personal spell work. So there we go. All right, so that is all of the current practices I'm doing. I'm probably missing something, but there we go. All right, so part 2 is my current journals. So I'm going to start this off by showing, here we go, my main agenda. So this is my main agenda. Nothing too exciting in here. I do a period tracker there, and I haven't yet to do the April one because I actually just got off my cycle. So this is my main agenda. So the meat of the pages are just my agenda, so it's nothing to really look at. Some of it's kind of private information, so I'm not going to go into the meat of the journal. I do some mild decoration, so let me see if this is something I can post. Oh, no, that's the day my dad died. I don't want to show that because that's kind of sad. Okay, so so it's a lot of scribbly stuff, and not every page is completely filled. And I'm basically listing what I'm filming, my reading, like the hours of Mercury, because that's important this month for me for that spell work, and what I'm posting on Instagram and TikTok and YouTube. So that's basically the meat of this, and I color code each month. So I kind of doing a purple theme for April, and I was kind of doing an orange and green thing for March, and pink for February, and kind of an orange and yellow thing, or red and orange and yellow thing for January. So yeah, doing a little color coding there. But I also do my social media tracker. So this section, I post what videos I'm posting on YouTube. So there we go. And I go through this each month in my Enchanted Expectations. And then the monthly pages, I record what my plans are for what I post on Instagram and TikTok. And sometimes YouTube Shorts if the videos are short enough, and they're witchcraft or tarot related. And I do also go through this every month. So that's pretty much it for my agenda. Let's see, the other current journals I'm using. So these are my main study journals for Japanese study. I've been learning Japanese for now, I think it's about 3 years. I do it almost every day. My studies have waned quite a bit since I took the JLPT like a year and a half ago now. But I still do at least a little bit every day, and eventually I do want to do more of this. But this is my main study journal, and I'm just briefly going to go over this. This is an A6 Hobonichi avec, and I did decorate the journals themselves. Yeah, and I'll briefly go over this. On this page, I record what my daily study is, and I'm not exactly following it to a T. It's kind of, I put my plans in there, and then I may or may not follow exactly what I put in there. And these, because it's the avec, it's half the years in one and half the years in the other, and I'm on this one now. When I go to the next section, these two books will be switched. So then the monthly pages, I do a kanji a day, and then when you go to the daily pages, and I'm still working on this, but when you go to the daily pages, it shows what the kanji is, and me practicing that kanji and how it's read, and just a few words using that kanji. And then the rest of the pages, I do... the rest of that page, I'm reading a Japanese book, and I'm basically I'm doing intensive reading, so I'm translating what's in the book, looking up the different kanji and stuff. So that's what I use in this book. That's the main thing there. And I do post weekly pictures of this journal on my Instagram and TikTok, so if you're interested, go check that out. And these two side journals here, this one is my Wanikani. Wanikani is a kanji learning website, and when I learn new kanji words from Wanikani, I put them in here, and I put how they're read, how they're used, maybe some mnemonics in here sometimes, or sample sentences or sample phrases using that kanji. So that's this book here. So that's for Wanikani. And, oops, sorry, I'm trying to put the thing in there. And this one is for my kanji from 02 book. And I put new kanji in here that I learned from that book. And same sort of deal, repeating that kanji over and over again, and then different phrases. And then here is the mnemonics for that kanji. So, yeah, so that is that one. And the next two are related. So I have, of course, this book here, which I showed earlier. This is my Kami to Yokai study, and this is going to last for several years for me. And it's just the different yokai that I am studying. Yeah, but it's also related to the Japanese stuff, of course. So I've done 4 so far, and hope to do more. All right, so there's that one. And finally, with the Japanese category, I also have this week's that I am doing. I'm translating. Well, I'm doing artwork. This is a painting that I did. I'm doing artwork, 1 painting a month, and then the rest of the month, I'm just doing like stickers and washi and stamps. Was this one, washi on that one? Yeah. And on this side, I'm actually translating the little quotes that are at the bottom of each of the weeks, and that's what I'm doing on the other pages here. And here's another painting that I did. This was for February. And then, so there's the pages there. This is washi and stickers. These were stamps. And then this was for March. I love this. I did this painting here, of a, Irish wolfhound, I think. Yeah. And then, washi and stickers and stamps. This was for April. And giraffes are my favorite animals, so I was really looking forward to doing the giraffe here. And I was also, I think, remembering last year visiting my dad in Kansas. So glad we visited last year. And this is the pencil board for this one. Sorry, I just put this back in here. Yeah, and so giraffes are my favorite animals, and I got a giraffe cup from the zoo there, and yeah, so I just wanted to have fun with this one, and that was the giraffe. I've only done one other page this month, but this week, before we go to Kansas again, I'm going to hopefully do the rest of the pages here. And I think for May, I want to do a discus fish. I painted a discus fish for my dad years ago, and hopefully I'm able to get that for myself when I go to Kansas. I would really like to get my discus fish painting, but in any case, I want to paint another one here for May. So that is the plan there. So that's my art journal. So, of course, the final journal that I am currently using is my spiritual journal. It's all in this 1 week's, and I did, this was the Troggin, the purple Troggin for the weeks, and I had this cool patch, and I've probably had it for 15, 20 years. I don't know how long. I've had this patch for ages, and I thought it was perfect for this, so I sprayed adhesive on the back so that it would stay there, and then I also ironed it so that it would stick, and I hand stitched the patch onto this thing here, and it does have zipper here, and I keep some stickers and stuff in there. But so this is my main spiritual journal. It's a consolidated journal. Last year I had like 2 or 3 different journals. I think I had 2 different journals last year. I had a week's, which was just my nightly tarot journal, and then I also had an A6 that was it was mostly the moon readings, but also Sabbats and things. It was kind of a general spiritual journal. Well, this year I decided to put them all in a week's, and I have the Tomie here, and it just looks beautiful in this Troggin. Yeah, so I mean, I'm not going to go over this too much because I do go over this every single month in my Enchanted Expectations. But, you know, I have all of the moon phases and signs right here, months at the year at a glance here. For the yearly index, I am doing well, up here is my yokai of the month, and I have yet to put this month's yokai in there. I am pulling 1 card a day from my favorite tarot deck, which is a deck I only use for myself, and that's the Anna K Tarot. So I only use that deck for myself, and but I've kind of not been using it over the last few years, and so my attempt to use that deck more is to do a daily draw, and that is what I'm doing. So I am just doing a daily draw. So, you know, obviously I missed some days, but I haven't really gone over any patterns yet, but that is sort of a plan, and perhaps I will do, if I think about it at the end of the month, I might do a reading or something about the cards that are repeated and the cards that just never showed up, because that was a video I think Marlena did on like where were you, which was, I thought, was a genius idea to do a reading about the cards that didn't show up for you that month. So I thought that was a genius idea, and it may be something that I utilize at some point. So that's that. Then come on. Does it want to? There we go. And I never filled this out. I had this here. This was my chart, and here I was gonna my 2026 spiritual plans, and I just never did anything with it. But it's cool looking, so it's there. My monthly pages, not much to it. Mostly just putting in some astrological information. I might, like, one of the things I keep trying to do with these months is record when I just do one-off tarot readings and things like that. And I have tarot stickers, like icon stickers, and I haven't put them in here yet. And it's, you know, eventually I want to do more with the monthly pages, because right now they just show where the moons are going to be, and when the sun enters a new sign, and when the Sabbats are, etc. So I would like to have these pages a bit more filled out. So there we go, and I have yet to do the next month. All right, so that was the monthly pages. Then I have the ancestor practice here, where I'm just I'm listing what cards I get, and I might, you know, I haven't really done this yet, but I haven't, I left space to kind of put information about these ancestors. So there we go. This was my year ahead reading, which I may have to come back to. I may have to, because I never actually wrote out my interpretation. I just kind of glanced at it and made some mental notes that mental notes are terrible for me because I have ADHD and I always forget my mental notes. I'm the kind of person that I really need to write things down, because if I don't write things down, I will forget. And yeah, so I mean, we're in the first quarter right now, and you know, there's just yeah. I'm going to have to go through and really look at what I'm seeing here, what's going on, and all of that. So, and these were the pages I had for my interpretations. But again, I never actually wrote down my interpretations, and I had a whole other extra page for it too. These are some blank pages that I prepared for something I may stick in, but I never stuck anything in. So I think I was perhaps going to put some spreads or something right here, but I don't know what I was going to do. All right, and then the weekly pages are, these are my nightly readers. On this side, I do my card of the week from my Calc cards. I do a card of the week, and then I pull one card from the decks that I'm using that night. So like say, so this one. So in this week, I had this card for my for the for the week ahead from the Calc cards, and then I was also using the Zelda Tarot and the Star Trek animated series Majors Only. That's what I was using for my nightly readers. So I pulled one card of each with that one and did a sort of interpretation. So that's what I've been doing, and I don't do every single day. I do try to, but I also don't force myself to, and I don't think I've done a full week yet. I don't think so. And then there are also times that I don't actually write down my interpretations. This one I got close to doing all days. So like this one, I actually did more than the one day that's written in here. I just didn't write it down. So that happens too sometimes. There we go. All right. And we are currently on this week. There we go. All right. So that is that there. And then of course my moon readings are back here, which we already sort of went over. And these are cool too, because I've been doing a cool thing with this. I was using the new things from Hobonichi that have the tip-ins, and this is super helpful for this section. So there we go. Oh, here is my pencil board, and the back after all the moon readings. I have a section for spreads, spells, and notes, just general spells, notes, spreads, things like that, notes pages. Then I have the wish list, new decks, and deck tournament. So wish list, new decks. I have gotten more since this point, so I do need to add a few more in here. And then my deck tournament. So my favorite decks that I use each month. And I've been doing this or some variation of this for the past 3 years. So yeah. All right. And that is everything from this journal. I'm just going to tuck that in here. Close this up. There we go. So those are all of my current journals. So the next section is briefly going over my inactive journals. These are not journals I'm actively using, but they're worth a mention. So the first one is actually one that I do use. It's somewhat active. I use it when I knit. So this is my knitting journal. I'm not going to go too in depth in this one. I thought this cover was perfect for a knitting journal. But yeah, anyway. So I really only have one project in here because it takes me a really, really long time to do knitting projects, and I haven't even written it in here yet. I created an index page, but I haven't. I only have one project in here so far, and I have to put the title on it. I keep forgetting to. So I have the entire knitting pattern in here, all of this. And then, this is my checking off of the rows that I'm doing, any added notes on this, things that I feel like I want to change or clarification on things. So note on gusset decrease, round 1 is decrease, round 2 is knit across, things like that, just letting me know. And that's all I have in this so far. So, yeah, and it takes me a really long time to knit because I kind of just casually knit. I don't sit down and knit a whole project. I knit a few rows at a time, and I just kind of do it on my off time. And the main thing I knit is socks. I love knitting socks. So yeah. And this one, I don't like. This is just a notebook that I added to here on this side, and I don't know what I want to put on this in the notebook part. Who knows? we'll see. but yeah, so, and here's my pencil board, and then I have just this added thing that has some stickers and stuff in it, or the information on the yarn that I used, etc. So yeah, so that is my knitting journal. It's not completely inactive. I do use it. It's just I only use it when I knit, which is not a lot. All right. And then the actual inactive ones. So this was this was my menstrual tarot journal that I started last year, and I was going to do a whole tarot, like, menstrual practice sort of thing with this, it only lasted a couple months. I could not stick with it, and I think I just didn't really have a clear plan of what I wanted to do with it. So I'm just going to hide this right here, but because the readings themselves are actually private, so I'll show this part there. You know, and I have other where I show the actual spread and stuff in it, but the reading itself is private. And yeah, I kind of liked where I was going with this, but I just couldn't really stick with it, and I did not have a clear plan on how I wanted to utilize this practice, so it kind of fell through, and that's okay. And basically I'm going to, sometimes I put pictures in there, but now I'm just going to use this as a general tarot journal, and just offshoot readings I do, notes, things like that, not anything fancy or special. It's just kind of a general tarot journal, and I'll use it when I use it. So that's that one. So the other two I have here. So this will be my ancestor journal. I got this obviously for 2025. Well, it says 2025, but and it's dated, but I don't plan to use it dated, obviously, and I never plan to use this dated. So it was I'll use it when I get to it sort of thing. So I will be putting a family tree type sticker on the front here. But yeah, and there's literally nothing in here yet. I'm kind of figuring out how I want to do this. I think I want to list all the ancestors that I've associated with the Page of Wands here. So here's all the Page, Knight, Queen, and King of Wands. And this was perfect for that. So that's my plan there. This is a really long-term plan of how I want to use this, and I perhaps want to separate the months by, maternal and paternal and all of that. It's a long-term ancestral practice, and this is going to be a nice-looking, highly decorated journal. It's just, when you have that plan for it, it takes it's a bit of a, how do I start this sort of thing? So it's an eventuality. And especially since I'm doing more of my ancestor practice, I do want to utilize that a bit more. And the final journal that I have that is inactive right now, this is going to be my geomancy journal. So this is a practice that I'm really starting to learn and utilize. And I think, yeah. So, I have all 4 of the Element Arcanae decks from Taylor Brand now, and I am utilizing these decks for geomancy. And so I'm using all the fire for the fire line, the air for the air line, water for the water line, earth for the earth line, etc. And I'm utilizing this along with playing cards. Right here, I just have the bento box playing cards deck here. I'm just going to show this a little bit. But yeah, so I playing cards and these element tarot decks are what I've kind of been using for my geomancy or dipping my toes into geomancy sort of thing here. And cartomancy in general, playing card reading, divination reading. I can't speak. That is another practice that I am trying to learn more about, and will eventually be doing more deep dives into geomancy and playing card divination. So so that I'm utilizing these decks for geomancy, and I was kind of hoping to use this book, this these notebooks for geomancy stuff. So I might have one of these for general geomancy information, and then one of them for geomancy spreads, like an actual journal of geomancy spreads. So there we go. So that is that one. And that kind of brings me to part 4, which is what I'm learning. Let's see. I mentioned that I want to learn cartomancy. I did just get this book from Robin, from Robin's Reflections. She sent this one to me, so I'm excited to dig into this. And I've also recently been reading The Witch's Devil by the same author, and I also bought Folk Witchcraft by all 3 of these are by Roger J. Horn. So I'm not like new to traditional witchcraft. I read this book a long time ago by Gemma Gary, and of course I have The Crooked Path by Keldon, etc. I've been practicing witchcraft since the 90s, so but diving more into traditional witchcraft, and I also have, I have this book here that I have not read yet, but I'm looking forward to reading this, and this is more North American folk magic. So traditional witchcraft and folk witchcraft is something that I have been doing more focus on this year, so and I'm excited to continue reading this. I'm almost done with this, actually, and then I'm going to be reading folk witchcraft and also the cartomancy book. Now, I don't know if this is the system I will want to be using for cartomancy. There's the thing with playing card divination is that there's no set way of doing it, and there's no like traditional way. It's everyone kind of has their own tradition that they follow with cartomancy, and some of it's tarot based, and I have a feeling this one's going to be a bit more tarot based, and some of it's a way different. It's the system that they were taught growing up, or from their tradition, etc. And you're going to get a lot of mix, because you're going to get some people who completely disagree with me and say that there is a firm tradition with playing card divination, and it has nothing to do with tarot and yada yada. So there's lots of different views on cartomancy and how to read playing cards, that and that's what's making it so intimidating to get into this, because I would really love to have a playing card system, and I don't think I want to go the tarot route with it. I think I want to do a completely different system, but I am very excited to read this book, though, and even though I do think it's a bit more based on I think it's using Marseille Tarot, which, by the way, Marseille is a system that I've been wanting to learn more in depth as well, so that's also on the list of things to learn about. So those are books that I'm going through. I, of course, am very pretty active with the Irish Pagan School. I mean, I could be more active, honestly. And I've just pulled this one out because Laura O'Brien is who runs the Irish Pagan School, and my spiritual beliefs are of Irish paganism. So like my witchcraft, I do experiment with it, and I got the traditional witchcraft, and traditional witchcraft is like more from Britain, so it's like, the Cornish Book of Ways here, and yeah, all of that. So that's more England and Cornwall, and I think it does Welsh witchcraft. Can we connect that with this? Maybe. Yeah, but that's also its own thing too. So it's kind of where I've been exploring that a bit more, and I have been for a few years, but I think this year I'm exploring it more in depth. But my actual belief system is more Irish paganism, and so that's really where my heart is, and all of that. So I did just recently buy a course from Irish Pagan School, but I have other courses that I've taken with them. They do great Sabbath videos, and more specifically on the 4 Irish fire festivals, of course. And their approach is very much, I wouldn't necessarily, would I say it's Reconstructionist? Yeah. It is Reconstructionist, but they also acknowledge that we are in the modern world, and there's also influences from other practices, from across a pond and etc. So there are influences that come from other traditions, but for the most part, a lot of what they teach and cover is very historically based, and going to a lot of source material and things like that. So cannot praise the Irish Pagan School enough, and I think they are a fantastic resource. So definitely go check them out if you are interested in Irish paganism. Now, completely different, but I've also been sort of diving into some ceremonial magic kind of stuff. And, obviously, I started off my spiritual practice in the 90s with Wicca, as many of us do. And in fact, I just recently got this book, Modern Wicca. Now, this is an old book, though. This is like from the early 2000s, I believe. Maybe the 2010s. I don't remember exactly when this came out. 2009. Okay, so so this came out in 2009, and I've been more, kind of wanting to go back to my Wiccan roots a little bit. Whereas, my Wiccan roots were that 90s Wicca. And so it's kind of that eclectic, a little bit of that shopping cart spirituality kind of stuff. A lot of problematic stuff with that time frame of Wicca. Not that I have anything against Wicca in general, because I don't actually. And I do find a lot of interest in the more traditional witchcraft practices, the Gardnerian practices, etc. And I saw this book as a recommendation for an actually a pretty good history of Wicca and all of that. And so, and obviously it's going to be a little bit outdated, but I got a pretty good recommendation, so I am going to read through this book and see what I can glean. But in that same vein, I have been more interested in diving into a little bit of ceremonial magic, high magic type stuff, the Hermeticism, Golden Dawn, all of that, and perhaps utilizing some of the practices. But there's just been different things that I've been interested in that. I've been watching several videos, YouTube channels on ceremonial magic. A lot of it has to do with angels, and I'm going to tell you right now, I am not an angel person. I really, really dislike angel. Like that's not something I'm comfortable with. So I've kind of been, a bit of a heretic with it, with some of what I've been experimenting with, and kind of doing a little bit of my own things so I don't have to do angel stuff, because I don't like... I really don't like angel stuff, so I'm just gonna be honest with you there. But like, I've been very interested in the Keys of Solomon, and that is a practice that I've kind of utilized on and off over the years, because one thing I've always found, it actually has improved my spell work, is those Keys of Solomon. And I don't know what it is about them, but they kind of just work for me. So I do utilize those. And I want to know more about it and understand it more. So that's what I've been kind of doing lately. And doing a lot more planetary magic, and a lot more focusing on the days and times of planetary workings, etc. So yeah, and along with that comes, looking into chaos magic. Oh, like this book here is one of the books that I got on chaos magic, and something I'm very interested in. I don't love this book so far, though. I got some stuff on the edges. Huh. Anyway, I don't love this book so far. I don't know. Maybe it's the way he's writing. It's something's not connecting me to this. But I think it's some of the beginning stuff. I'm just like, yeah. That's kind of how I feel reading it. Like, yeah. But but I think I want to get more into, the exercises and practices and understanding, a viewpoint. And there's other chaos magicians I've been sort of following on YouTube. Of course, Ivy Corvus, of course, and she just came out with a new book that I am very interested in getting. And of course, I also follow Kellyanne Maddox. She does chaos magic as well, so just really interested in that. And doing the whole servitor thing. I do have at least one servitor right now, and so there we go. Okay, so the final part, and I'm doing pretty good on time. I was worried this was going to be like over an hour long, and we're at about 45 minutes, so that's fine. So the final part is any changes, anything that's not working for me, or what I plan to do next. So honestly, my practice has been I've actually been pretty happy so far with my practice. There are some things that I don't totally keep up with, like I was saying, my ancestor practice is a bit it's a bit surface level. However, because my dad's passing, that last ancestor reading was actually, everything sort of came together with that one. And my dad and I were both, I still am, obviously, but we're both genealogists. So ancestors, family tree, that kind of stuff is something that was a deep bonding practice for my dad and me. And so, and I always try to incorporate ancestor stuff in my practice. And lately, because I have two recent ancestors that I'm kind of more vocal with. So one of them is my Nana, my mom's grandmother, my mom's mom. And so my Nana, her name is Theta. She actually talks to me a lot, and through cards and stuff, and she always wants stuff, and I still don't have an altar for her yet. And that, like, every time I try to talk to her, she's always wanting me to hurry up and get, make that altar for her, make that shrine for her, and she wants stuff on it. She likes knickknacks, and that's something I remembered about Nana growing up. I didn't know her very, very well, but there were just certain things that I remember about her. Like, I really remember her Precious Moments dolls, but at the same time, my mom was like, I hardly remembered the Precious, like, I remember she had them, but me being a kid, that was what stuck with me with Nana. I remember her really into the Precious Moments figurines, and I really want to get her a Precious Moments rosary of some sort, because she was also Catholic, and she was very Catholic, so I want to incorporate that with her shrine. But my mom revealed to me the main thing she remembers that Nana liked to collect, and that was troll dolls. My Nana loved troll dolls, and I guess I just never saw that when I was there, and everything like clicked when my mom said that, because everything made sense. And I did I did a little reading recently with my Nana, and I pulled, like, what do you want to say to me right now, Nana? And I pulled one of the cards from the Coastal Curiosities, and it was like Unearth, and I was like, okay. And then I pulled like a second card from the Divinimation set, and I got troll dolls. Of all the things that I pulled, and I was just like, oh my god, that was the thing she kept trying to tell me that she wanted. She wanted troll dolls for her shrine, and thank you to my mom for saying that. And then I got that confirmation that we unearthed that that's what she wanted. She wanted troll dolls. So I am going to have to get her some troll dolls and make a nice altar for her. And the other ancestor I kind of talked to is my Mima. That's my mom's mom. And she always kind of, like, I know Mima's with me when she shows up she shows up as frogs in cards. So whenever I have a card and a frog shows up, that is my Mima. And so she's not as active with me as Nana is. Like, Nana's very vocal, but Mima she just shows up in my stuff. Like, like, there's a frog, there's Mima, All right. So yeah, and I hope to be more in depth with my ancestor practice going forward, but we'll see where that goes. And eventually I'll get a shrine for Nana, and I'll get my ancestor journal actually going. So the other thing, I love that I've kept everything in like all my spiritual stuff contained in this one thing. Like, this is my yearly practice type stuff. Like, I do want to have separate journals for specific things. Like, I want to have a devotional journal for my deities. These are long-term plans, things I want to eventually do, but I don't have yet. But I like having, like, for my yearly practice type stuff, like my actual working book, I like having it contained into one. The only downside is that this is quite small for containing everything. And you can see that it's gotten a bit bulky here already. So I'm considering for 2027, so this is a long ways away. I'm not going to change anything about this. This is what I'm using this year. I'm not changing anything about this, really. But for 2027, I am really considering switching to a cousin. And I've never used the cousin before, the Hobonichi cousin. And that's the A5 book, so it's much larger. I'm such an A6 girly, or a Weeks, that, I'm a little intimidated by the cousin. But because I'm putting everything into one thing, I think I perhaps want to switch to a cousin in 2027. So that is on the idea block, where I'm considering it. And then, like, honestly, that's really the only thing I'm considering about changing, and it's not anything I'm changing until the next year. So there we go. And the other thing that I would like to learn, so what's next? So as I said, I'm doing the geomancy practice, so I would like to learn more about that. I'm doing, I want to learn more about cartomancy. That's another big thing. And the last thing that I want to do I want to eventually do a more deep dive study on is, I have a set of cards here, and here is the staves, OM. So there's a really great book that I read a few years ago, and I'll put the cover on the screen. It's, I can't remember the name of the author, but I think it's just called OM or Agam, because I think it's without the G or without the H in there. That is an excellent book on the OM system, and also interpreting the cards. So I highly recommend that book. I've referenced it a lot, but I still don't have an OM practice. I just occasionally pull out my staves for some readings, and because of my Irish paganism practice, this is something I really want to be more well versed on, and the Irish pagan school has a whole OM school, like part of the Irish pagan school is a separate, but also part of the Irish pagan school, OM school. So at some point I want to go through their entire OM courses and really get a solid OM practice under my belt. So there we go. All right. Well, that I think is it, and I think I've made it before the and the hour mark. So I'm just going to grab some of these here. All right. Thank you so much for watching, everyone, and I will see you next time. Bye.